the fact that, I mean, the jury has been deliberated rather for 3 hours. So they reached a decision just before 2 o'clock. Just in your experience, I mean, what do you make of them coming to this decision fairly soon?
I think, yeah, it would be consistent with there not being much disagreement among the 12 jurors. So, it wouldn't necessarily take very long to resolve those disagreements. And so I think it was really.
All right, so get back to what I was saying just a minute ago. For the individuals in here who's saying, like, you can say what you want to about what you think about this particular case, but just like you think, this is what I'm saying right here. A lot of y'all think that what I just got done saying, you act like I'm pleading the case for what Carmelo Anthony did was right. That's what's wrong with a lot of you. That's what's wrong with a lot of people that don't know how to actually intellectually think through things. You saying that I should lose subscribers because I have my own opinion. That lets me know that. So what, you think that all of us are a monolith? You think that all of us think alike, right? See, it's amazing that some of you same people that was in here commenting a minute ago, you same individuals are the ones that's right, Ty. Man, Brian, you like when I'm on here and I'm bashing these ghetto bone Quishas and Tyrones and Jamals and Jermaines and all these Starkeishas. You all for that. Right? Oh, yeah. And then when I get black people that go into the comment section, Negro, you a coon. Negro, you a tap dancer. Y'all get pissed off. Oh, man, Ty, that's a shame that the black people are calling you that. You're only they don't like when you have your own opinions, Ty. But then you see what I'm saying about Carmelo Anthony. You acting just like them. What makes you different than them? But I told you, I'm used to stuff like that. I know that you're not used to somebody looking at things differently than what you do. But again, when it comes down to it, Carmelo Anthony is going to be found guilty. Most likely, he's going to be found guilty of either first-degree murder or manslaughter. No, he should not have brought a knife to school. Right? Yes, he should have left when they asked him to. But, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to it, had Metcalf not tried to take matters into his own hand and take care of another high school student instead of telling an official, telling the coach or anything like that, this wouldn't happen. Am I blaming him? No. But when it comes down to it, whether you guys like it or not, this is a high school fight that went bad. It went bad. I wish that it never happened. I wish that he never brought a knife to school. I wish that none of this never happened. All of us do. Carmelo Anthony is an idiot for bringing a knife on school property or anywhere, anything like that. So he's an idiot and a moron for doing that. Because who brings a knife to school? Right? Who brings a knife to school? Now, through schooling, have any of you ever heard of anybody doing that? We have. In the inner cities, people brought pocket knives and knives to school all the time. Right? So to act like, oh, it's surprising. Oh my God. I can't believe that somebody brought a knife to school. I can't believe. Come on, man. Really? Y'all acting like y'all never heard of somebody that brought a knife to school before. Is it wrong? Yes. Does it happen? Yes. Guess what else is not supposed to happen at school too? Smoking. But do you see high schoolers smoking? Yes, you do. Guess what else is not supposed to be happening at high schools? Drinking. But do you see people drink? Yes. Guess what else is not supposed to be happening in high school? Cocaine, acid, marijuana. But do you see high schoolers doing it? Yes, you do. So that's what I'm saying. People need to quit acting like it's like this never been heard of, right? Now, Carmelo Anthony bringing this knife to school, knowing that he had it in his backpack. Yeah, he knew that he had an upper hand. Watch what happened if you touch me again. Watch what happened. He knew that he was going to use that knife. He knew it. It's just like anybody else. If you know that you got a gun on you, yeah, you dare somebody to, okay, go ahead and keep on messing with me. Watch what happens if you keep messing with me. So yes, but at the same time, you can get mad all you want to. If they would have gotten their coach, assistant coach, or anybody like that, come and get this mother boop from underneath our tent. We told this mother boop 15 times to leave, and his little butt ain't leaving. Coach, tell this dude he need to bounce. That's what you do. Y'all know how many times we done almost got into fights in basketball? We fought on the court. We fought in we went at it in track and field too. We went at it. But the only difference is that this idiot brought a knife, knew that he had the upper hand and used it. Yes, you can call him a wimp, you can call him a coward, you can call him a punk because he didn't use his hands to fight back. He probably knew that Metcalf would have whooped his butt. I get it. I understand all that. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, you are not going to be able to convince me otherwise that Metcalf never should have put his hands on him. He never should have put his hands on him. Karmelo Anthony's probably about to go to prison. And that's going to be that. Somebody said it wasn't a fight. I mean, it could have led to one, but unfortunately, he got stabbed before a fight could break out. But apparently, he got pushed or shoved twice. Let me see what's going on right now, y'all.
When you think of a person having a knife, the knife is displayed and jurors have to form a belief if they think that that knife can be used for other utility purposes or if it's there exclusively to be used as a weapon. So in the range of knives, if you will, one of the things is that the knife was less than 5.5 inches, which suggests that under Texas law, well, not suggest, it is actually legal to carry it there. But it suggests that it also could have other potential uses.
And of course, not having the knife cleaned, leaving the dried blood on the knife lends to the mind and imagination of the jurors those other uses.
Right. I think that, you know, they decided that regardless of the reason, it did not sound like it was for purposes of a confrontation with the person that he didn't know he was going to be into a confrontation with on that day. So I think certainly you want to try to answer every question you can,
right?
But every answer comes with risk as well. Karmelo had testified. He certainly could have been cross-examined, and it might have been an opportunity for the state to go back through in a different way the events as they unfolded from his seat. So I think they weighed that out and decided against it.
Lori Brown is telling us now that Judge Roach is on the bench and said that we are now on the record to bring in the jury, warning those in the courtroom any outburst, a person will be held in contempt. Defense attorney Mike Howard standing with his arms
Here we go
on Karmelo Anthony, and they are standing now waiting for the jury to enter the jury box.
Here we go.
So at any moment, we will hear what that verdict is. Again, if you are just joining us right now, the jury started deliberating at 10:52 this morning. They reached a decision.
I'm calling. I'm saying guilty.
A little before 2. And so we were waiting for that verdict to be announced at 2:05. It is 2:32 right now. Sometimes, you know, these things take a while in terms of getting everybody into the courtroom, explaining the rules. Our Lori Brown telling us that any outburst, a person will be held in contempt. So just kind of, you know, letting them know what the rules are, just so that, you know, they have rules in place and they want people to follow, you know, those rules.
It says here, Lori is telling us, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder. That is the verdict from the jurors, according to Lori Brown, who is in the courtroom.
Okay, we're hearing that first. Guilty of murder. We are finding that out.
And I think Russell Wilson, with the brevity of this deliberation, I don't think that's a surprise to many people.
It's not.
All right. So, I mean, what we know is that, you know, they've rejected the self-defense claim. They believed that the use of deadly force in response to the shove was excessive. And that's not necessarily a surprise based off of the totality of the circumstances.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that is a righteous ruling that he is guilty of murder, and it was not self-defense. Now, was that hard? Was that hard? You know what's funny about this is that there are cases going on right now. There are things that happen right now in the world right now that a lot of people don't give a crap about. I just showed y'all a video the other day of a little black girl being lynched, a 7-year-old girl being lynched for 2 minutes. This 7-year-old girl was being lynched for 2 minutes. She was dragged. Her hair was pulled. Her head was stumped. Her ribs was kicked in. Her body was stumped on for 2 minutes straight. This little black 7-year-old was being lynched by other blacklets. And y'all ain't got nothing to say about that. That's what amazes me about, this Karmelo Anthony. So now you dumb Negroes, you blacklets, the descendants of blacklets, you Negrodites and you Negresses, y'all getting ready to go out there and show people exactly why you get the stereotypes that you do. Y'all about to go out there and start burning stuff up. You about to go out there and start rioting. You about to go out there and start burning and tearing stuff up in your own neighborhoods over this board, over somebody that y'all don't even know and really care about. All y'all care about is that he's black and that Metcalf is white. And we tired of this stupid stuff going on here. We tired of all this. We tired of these people that do bull crap. He's guilty. He brought a knife to school. Was he supposed to? No. He knew the rules. Come on now. He knew the rules. This is what happens when you try to be about that life. The dude have a mom. He got a dad. He grew up in an upper middle class home. But guess what he wanted to do? He wanted to be about that life. He made a dumb decision to bring a knife to school. Metcalf, God rest his soul, he made a dumb decision to put his hands on Karmelo Anthony. Both of them are wrong. One of them is gone. Both lives are lost right now, plain and simple. So you can sit there and try to put your emotions in this. And no, you wrong, Ty. You so wrong. Metcalf didn't do, man. Metcalf should not have pushed Karmelo Anthony. If Metcalf had pushed Karmelo Anthony, pushed him twice, if Karmelo Anthony would have reported that, Metcalf would not have went to jail. You want to know why? Because at high schools, like on basketball and stuff like that, they get into brawls all the time. Nobody's arrested. You might get detained for a little bit, but you're not going to get arrested and do no jail time. So you see what I'm saying? Some of y'all have a hard time understanding that. Karmelo Anthony and Metcalf both are in the wrong. Plain and simple. That's not hard. But now, if y'all want to try to, I'm about to see what's going on. You want to try to flip this thing around and folks want to get ready to start rioting and everything like that. That's what's going to be absolutely ridiculous. That's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Take y'all emotions out of this. I know they get y'all with the music and everything like that, right? They try to make Karmelo Anthony look like he just this. Hey, son, when you take your mugshot, son, make sure you look like you sad. He up there. He knew what he was doing, y'all. Come on, man. He knew what he was doing. Now, me or you, we can't sit there and say the reason why Karmelo Anthony brought a knife to school is because he was looking for trouble. You don't know that because people brought knives to school all the time. Man, where we have residents at in Florida, these kids, middle school, high schools, almost all them kids have a pocket knife. And teachers, do you know that little turd brought a pocket knife to school again? Go take it up. They'll get in trouble. We're suspending him for the rest of the day because little Johnny brought a pocket knife. Now, because little Johnny brought a pocket knife to school in the middle school or in high school, does that mean that he had premeditation murder on his mind? No. But at the same time, if something was to happen to little Johnny in middle school or high school who did bring a knife and he did use it to stab somebody after they pushed him, he's completely wrong because he knew he had it with him. He knew that I was going to pull this thing out and do something to you. Come on now. Uh-oh, let's see what happens. Come on, black folks. Don't do it. Don't be stereotypes now. Come on. Saying, let's see y'all. Check it out. I'll put it on full screen for y'all.
The gravity of what was done is struck now in a different way.
Yes.
And they'll be getting, Karmelo's parents ready as well, I think, to testify.
I just want,
sorry,
go ahead.
No, that's it. I was going to say, so you're likely to hear, the gut wrenching impact of death from the viewpoint of the victim and the viewpoint of the defendant. And you'll see a family I don't know if they'll ask for a specific range or a specific number of punishment. But that's what I think is you're going to see unfold, and that's what we see unfold in punishment hearings on murder cases all the time.
How about the jurors now, too? I want to stay with what's going to happen in that courtroom because this is where we are now.
Right. Some of the jurors, it will depend. Some of the testimony was emotional. In very, very emotional cases, the jurors themselves still aren't going to be free to talk with anybody or anything like that. So I think they would need to remain relatively composed, and they have to still address what the punishment is. And there will be, perhaps broader disagreement on how you punish this crime. So if you've got a universal agreement on, and then you have laws, when it comes to how you set punishment, the jury instructions are very broad. It just basically says you can consider the person's background and nature, but what makes a person say a life sentence versus what makes a person say a lower number, and how firmly they feel about any of these things. The jury instructions and punishment will advise jurors that it's an aggravated offense, meaning that any sentence that's imposed, that he would not be eligible for parole until at least one half of that sentence is served.
Correct.
And so jurors sometimes are there, they'll instruct it not to, may say, if we impose a 20-year sentence, then he could not get out until 10 years. And you may have the prosecution
See what Angel just said right here? He said, facts. When I went to school in the 80s, we always had a pocket knife, and fighting with it was never a thought. Usually just showed it off. And if you had a Swiss, man, you were the king. Yeah, they flicking it out and everything. So I get that some people are here saying, like, yeah, but now it's illegal. Okay. So what is it? There was a time where if you went over 20 miles per hour with your horse and buggy, maybe that was illegal too. I mean, what? I don't know if that's. We all know that bringing it to school is wrong. Nobody's debating that at all. But what we're saying is, when people try to say the reason he solely brought the knife to school was for murder, you can't say that because you don't know that. He just happened to have it with him when he brought it to school and brought it to the track meet and everything like that. But you can't sit there and say the boy had premeditation on his mind. That's the reason why he brought the knife. You know what I mean? Is that doesn't change anything. People in the South, them boys used to come to school with their pickup trucks and had rifles in the window and everything like that because they knew that they were used for hunting. Yeah, Matthew, you saw the video. He said that 2-minute lynching was horrible. Right, 7-year-old girl getting lynched for 2 minutes, getting beat for 2 minutes, and black folks ain't saying nothing. But we care about Karmelo Anthony, right? Right? You see what I'm saying? It's this. If this doesn't show you proof that a lot of you are easily manipulated by sensationalism propaganda and the psychological psyops of media and TV that implants its tentacles in your subconscious to where you can be mad over this right here, but you're not mad over me showing you the video of that little black girl being lynched for 2 minutes. But if it was white people lynching the little black girl, oh, then y'all would say something. Oh, now you will say something if the little black girl was being lynched by white people. Oh, now we got something we can talk about. But we don't care about niggerites and niggeresses doing it to each other all day long. People got shot in Chicago just the other day, right? Y'all not caring about that? They're dead. Multiple people shot. I'm pretty sure they would love to have all the national attention that this Karmelo Anthony case is getting right now. I bet they would love to have that attention about how they're victims too. Some of them got shot. Some of them got killed just like Metcalf. How come nobody's mad at that purpose? How come nobody's mad? How come nobody just raising up hell and everything like that about the people that just got killed in Chicago? Man, shut up with your coon name, man. Go ahead. I heard it all before. You're not gonna say, at least if you're gonna make a sad attempt at insulting me, at least try to be original. You know what I mean? Try to be original with your insults. The destroyer, Carmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder.
From where I'm standing, I have not been able to follow the crowd as closely as some of our photographers. I can tell you that my colleague Amelia Jones is also kind of with the crowd, so she'll have more of that perspective as well. But the crowd has been very calm, some minor outbursts, and then they've been kind of following in like a group to one side of the courthouse to the other as my photographer John pans across our tent here and the trees. It's a little difficult to see, but then that is kind of where the bulk of the crowd is starting to move. So officers remain on the other side of the barrier that I mentioned that's separating the parking lot from the steps of the courthouse. Most people here seemingly seem to be taking those orders from officers into account and staying on this side of the barrier. But again, emotions differing to some degree, but no outright loud emotion. There was one moment where I did see a woman on the ground. I think you're maybe watching that now. If I can see from our screen here, some people sitting on the ground, kind of reacting to it that way.
What?
Kind of following that person's lead and kind of saying, I heard somebody say, stick together, let's all stay together. And that seems to be the sentiment out here.
What is that?
All in all,
I'm sorry. What?
Calm,
What is that?
Large police.
What is that? They let that baby go to jail for murder. Oh my God. That baby is in jail for murder. They found that man guilty. Oh my God. We just never gonna get ahead. We ain't gonna never overcome. The freaking heck out of here with that bull crap. Come on, man. Oh my God. This is deep. Y'all, I'm just telling you the flat out truth. You negresses and you negrodites, y'all can be so insufferable at times. You crying for him murdering somebody? You crying for him? No wonder the criminals and everybody everywhere feel enabled. No wonder y'all dummies be having barbecues for them when they get out of prison for like sexually assaulting somebody and robbing somebody. Some of them get out for attempted murder. Y'all having barbecues and celebrating these criminals getting out of jail. No wonder that we so oh my God. Yeah, you're right. Take my any of you in here hating right now, you can take my black card. It's been revoked and gone. I don't even want it back anyway. You're right. Don't associate me with none of you. You darn right. Don't associate me with none of you in here with this bull crap all on the dang on ground. Oh my God. Carmelo Anthony. I can't believe they found that boy guilty. But you can't cry hard for any man. Come on, man. Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna go out as far as to say, you know what? I don't think it's only just far left radical white liberal women and men, beta males, that are paid by George Soros. I believe some of y'all blacklists. I believe some of y'all are paid actors too. Y'all are paid to go out there and do some of this stuff that these far left radical folks are doing too. Because how in the world can a boy y'all don't even know, thousands of miles and hundreds of miles away from you, you get sucked in? You get sucked into this case to that extent where you out here fainting and over a boy you don't even know. You don't even know him. He's not even thinking about y'all. Man, y'all, man, that is crazy. Now, this is going to be the thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is this. What's going to be messed up about this is now y'all going to have to figure out, okay, he got found guilty of murder. Now it's going to come the other part where, listen to me real quick. They might try to satisfy both spectrums of those that are for this and those that are against this, right? Oh, you're going to have the crowd celebrating. He got found guilty. He got found guilty. You're going to have the other crowd pissed off. He got found guilty. He got found guilty. Wait till the sentencing come. That's where the real celebration or the real protest is going to break out, because if they found him guilty of murder, and you see what they said, it can carry between 2 years to life, or it can carry between 5 years to this. If they give him the minimum, y'all gonna be out there celebrating. I'm telling y'all, that's crazy. That's crazy. Ken Rattler, appreciate the $5 super chat. God bless you for that. Really, really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Say the same woman crying like that is the priest who had Jesus killed and released murder over the innocent. Right. They said straight to sentencing. Let's see what's being said, y'all.
At this rate, well, certainly now the verdict's returned. At this rate, they'll be done with punishment before the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. I think, many of my colleagues here that we've been speaking with from other outlets who have been covering this from day one, we certainly knew that the judge wanted a tight timeline. He said from day one that he was going to go from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. He stuck to that. And in fact, he held testimony all day on Saturday. I was here for that as well. He went from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that was when the prosecution rested. Midday or about 3 p.m. on Saturday is when the prosecution rested. We were surprised because we knew that there was 35 witnesses that were expected to testify. They ended up resting after the medical examiner having only called 21. But obviously they felt like they made their case. And based on what the verdict was today, they did in their eyes. So you're right. The judge saying that he wanted to have this wrapped up by this coming Friday. Again, here we now find ourselves in the sentencing phase, just shy of 3 o'clock on this day.
Right. And of course, it's not uncommon to have more names on your witness list than you actually call at any trial. Once you feel like you've made your point, once you feel like you've closed the circle, if you will, and nailed it down, that's when you stop, because you don't want to overwhelm your jurors. That's when you stop. And clearly the defense thought a half dozen witnesses, we've made our point. All we need is to create this reasonable doubt. That doubt was not created on the question of murder.
And it looks like we are hearing from Carmelo Anthony's mother. I believe she has taken the stand. So she is saying she was asked, do you believe he regrets it? She says, yes, I know my son. He is very sorry for what he did. Please have mercy on my son. And then she was asked, like any mothers, you love your son. She says, yes, regardless of what happens, you realize he will still get to be part of your life. Yes. So again, she is asking, for this punishment phase for the jury, for everybody to consider that he is remorseful, which also was expressed during testimony early on, that he did not deny that he did this. And another witness said he was just Anthony was distraught over what happened, that he was emotionally visible moments after all of this took place. And so we are hearing from his mother right now.
It looks like Lori Brown is reporting that Carmelo Anthony's mother is the only witness the defense plans to call in the punishment phase. And no one can ask you to have mercy for the life of another person like a mother.
What about his daddy? What you talking about? A father too? What the heck is that?
Literally begging people at this moment to give her son a chance at life at some point in the future.
And again, he's looking at 5 years to 99 years in prison. So we will see what is decided. Lori is saying that the jury is out. They can't deliberate until they get the charge. So we'll see. And again, he's looking at 5 years to 99 years in prison. So we will see what is decided. Lori is saying that
testimony in the punishment phase. I anticipated that we might now hear from Hunter Metcalf about the loss of his twin brother. Not only were they twins, they were best friends. Thought we might would hear from him. Thought we would hear more about who Carmelo Anthony is and the life that he could have rehabilitated.
It's so funny, man, to me, because it said 5 to 99 years. Man, it's really interesting, man, because the mother gets up there and please have mercy on my son. You plea and say, please have mercy on my son. He's remorseful for what he did. I have a hard, I'm not, now, I think that he didn't know the gratification of what it was going to go to, Karmelo Anthony. But y'all know me. Those that follow my channel know I'm a hard disciplinarian. I'm a hard disciplinarian. When Karmelo Anthony got pushed and he said, touch me again and see what happens, he knew that he was going to use that knife. Karmelo Anthony knew that he was going to use that knife. Now, you can't sit there and say, well, I didn't know it was going to kill him. You can't say that. It's just like those idiots that did a drive-by and shot a little baby in the head. Well, we weren't trying to shoot a baby. We was trying to shoot the man, and it just happened. But you shot a baby in the face. Yeah, they shot a baby in the face. So you can't say that. You can't say, I didn't know I was going to kill him. No, you never should have used the knife. You knew you were going to use the knife. So to say that he's remorseful, I have a hard time with stuff like that because you knew what you were going to do. Y'all might think this is crazy. Tar, if this was your son, I'll be like, that's what you get. Matter of fact, my son mugshot would have showed his lip busted and probably his eye black. And y'all would be like, see there, they jumped him. No, they didn't jump him. MRM beat his son up. That's what happened. MRM is in jail too. Yes, I would have beat my son with my fist for doing something like this right here. Knowing what I taught him, knowing what the rule. And then you bring a knife to school, knowing that you're not supposed to. Oh, yeah, I'm getting you. Yeah, I would be sad. I would be heartbroken. I would be crying that I know my son is about to potentially serve the rest of his life in prison. But at the same time, I have principle. I have integrity. That's what your butt get. I'm pissed off, I'm mad, and I'm not going to be able to see you as often as I want to. But at the same time, serves your dumb self right for bringing it to school. Y'all always try to pull that stuff like that. Man, what if it was your child? Serves him right. You get what life gives to you. You get out of life what you put in it. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I think that Karmelo Anthony might be feeling the euphoria from all this support that he's getting. And he's all, but bro, you knew what you were going to do, man. Come on, man. Let's not play games. You knew what you were going to do. Touch me again and see what happens. And again, be mad all you want to. We wouldn't be talking about that right now if Karmelo Anthony never got shoved by Metcalf. I wish that never happened, y'all. I wish that y'all come. Oh my God, y'all just don't. Some of y'all just don't like the truth. You don't like the truth. Jesse Lynn, appreciate you for the $20 super chat. Says we lost 2 children as a whole. We need to do better for future generations to come. We pray and dig in. We are the world. That will be 20 years, 2 generations from now. Time to get to work again. The thing is that, you know what? The thing is about this particular case, ladies and gentlemen, is this. This is just going, you know what? The media, the masses, y'all, they really don't care about Karmelo Anthony. Y'all, listen to me. The masses, the media, Black Lives Matter, NAACP, Al Sharpton, any of these black activists, any of somebody trying to be all pro-black, you really don't care about Karmelo Anthony like a lot of y'all claim y'all do. I'm not saying this is everybody, but a lot of y'all don't. You are clapping your hands and you are glad that y'all finally are able to use this as a means to say, see how racist America is? See how racist America is? If there was the other way around, where there was a white dude and he stabbed a black kid, he wouldn't blink. Democrats and a lot of race hustlers are so glad that this is going on right now because guess what? They get to use the whole metaphorically speaking right now. They get to use the whole thing of saying, look, see, America is still racist. Look how racist. No. Racism, systemic racism, if it was a body, it is on a hospital bed on a ventilator right now, being fed air. It's not alive. It's dead. But because you see the body moving up and down, you perceive that it's still there, that it's alive, and it's not. So guess what? Stuff like this Karmelo Anthony case and any other thing that goes on in America right now between black and white people, That's the air that's feeding the systemic racism. You are the people that propagandize this stuff. You are the ventilator that keeps on pumping air into the systemic racist body that's dead. But because it's the chest is expanding and collapsing, it makes everybody believe that it's still there. It's not there on a level like that. Now, are there racist people? Yes. Black folks are racist. White folks are racist. Chinese people are racist. Asian people are racist. Chinese and Asian are the same people. No, they're not, because Indians are also Asians. I'm not talking about the so-called Native American Indians. I'm talking about Indians from India. They're racist. Russians are racist. Canadians are racist. All these people, everybody on the planet Earth have individuals that are racist, period. But on a systemic level, what they're trying to make America appear to be, absolutely not. You got to show me that. I don't believe it. Black people can't be racist because we ain't got no power. What is that supposed to mean? Go to Africa then, where it's all black folks, and see what they're doing. Then what you going to say about that if you go there and you are oppressed there too? Let's see what else is being said here.
The law enforcement presence, and also before that verdict was read, I could see law enforcement right up against the doors of the Collin County Courthouse, seemingly just in case anyone was going to run up those courthouse steps and potentially try to rush in. So they were really prepared here for this, but no law enforcement has come in contact with the crowd. They are really keeping their distance, keeping their eyes peeled. But so far, things have remained peaceful, but the crowds have not died down at all. With that, I'll send it back to you guys. That's what I'm seeing out here live.
Thank you. And again, excellent work covering this trial where our politicians are now weighing in. And, typically you don't see politicians weighing in on local murder trials. You don't bring politics into this mix, but that's what we're seeing happen. State Representative Jared Patterson posting a statement on the murder conviction of Austin Metcalf's killer. There it is, as you can see it. It reads in part that the murder of Austin Metcalf was a senseless and heartbreaking tragedy that forever changed the lives of his family, friends, and community. All of that is true. Nothing can restore the life that was taken or ease the unimaginable pain of losing a child. Today's outcome of a murder conviction is justice served. And then Jeff Leach also posting on social media on X, Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering Austin Metcalf, the right decision.
To be honest, sometimes I actually have no idea what's going on until I open Monday.com. And boom, everything's there. Statuses, timeline.
Or may have been Alex who talked about this being historic. It is a sad and historic case that will always be talked about, reviewed, and looked at here in North Texas.
Absolutely. And, since we've been covering this trial, obviously no cameras were allowed in the courtroom. And so we've been relying heavily on our crew. Our Lori Brown is inside of the courtroom. And so she explained, she was describing what was going on as Karmelo Anthony's mother took the stand, and she just added, just kind of painting the picture of what's going on inside. And she said the mother's statements were tearful, that she was emotional. She was telling the jury to really, have mercy for her son. And so that also paints the picture of just how distraught she is. And so I think you had mentioned this on both sides, right? So there's one side that is very emotional and another side that feels this was the right call, that this murder charge, this murder.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, a mother's plea. Y'all know what? Every time, you knew what happened every time my sons got ready to get in trouble. My wife hated it. She would tell you. She hated it. She hated getting ready to see her sons get ready to get their butts whooped. That's a mother for you. That's what they do. But this ain't so y'all, that's the reaction that the mother is having. You don't like when your son or your daughter, that's how mothers are. You don't like when your son is about to get punished. I knew it. I had to take my sons off in the room. My wife just had to sit there and hear them getting their butts spanked. But she was sometimes, y'all know, let's just tell the truth. That's how it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I understand what she's doing though. You are just, Your Honor, please, my son, no. Because there was times when my sons were younger, my wife was like, well, he really didn't do nothing that bad. No, I'm still getting him. I know, but I just want you to let you know that what he did really wasn't bad. No, I'm still getting him. Like this. That's what this woman is doing. Oh, Your Honor, I'm sorry, my son, he's not like that. Yes, he is.
On inside of the courtroom.
I don't know what's going on right here. I don't know why it's gone silent, y'all. But anyway, if y'all haven't done so yet, make sure y'all click the thumbs up button for me right now. Click the thumbs up button for me right now. That way my content can stay recommended to you. There's literally no volume in this on this right now. I don't know what they're doing right now. People are still standing there. A lot of back and forth is going on. I don't know what the lady down there is doing, but this is not no case of we shall. I hate when they do stuff like this. Don't you hate when they try to take it back in time? We are not in the pre-70s civil rights movement and stuff no more. There is no we shall overcome what? Little black boys murdering people? Little what? White kids shooting up schools? Black kids committing mass shootings? Sexual predators? We shall overcome what? I can't believe they're taking this case like this and acting like this is like an innocent bystander who just was not doing anything wrong and just happened to get lynched by white people and he just defended himself. This is not that case. The verdict is you are late, Jay Lee. Jay Lee, he's found guilty. He was found guilty. I appreciate that, Jesse Lynn. He was found guilty. Yep. This black ignorant folks, just ignorant folks. Try another streamer and see what they're saying. You're right. Let me see. Let me see if somebody else is talking about this. Like who? Let me see if somebody else is online talking about this particular thing too, guys. Give me a second here. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button again. Let me see if there's anybody else on here that's saying the opposite. Let me see what my guy K out of Truth is showing on his.
Here in the penalty phase, it is a much easier route. You know, you're going, but someone had to bring this kid to life more so than just through opening statements through your attorney. And you know, a few witnesses that talked about his education during the case in chief.
This is fake. I don't believe
this is it. This is sentencing time. These individuals are easily swayed. You know, they're people in the public, and they all could be touched.
They say this is why they're saying that they should have put him on the stand.
And remind them of
I agree. He should have.
Tell us, Savage, why did he get convicted, buddy? Go ahead.
So the defense wasn't able to show it was self-defense without his testimony. And I honestly think that he didn't testify was because it wasn't self-defense.
Right.
And
it wasn't.
And the
I want to ask you a question. How is it not self-defense?
Hey, PT, why can't she be quiet?
Question.
Why? Why can't she be quiet?
You guys like driving off the women? Let her talk. Go ahead, ma'am.
I have a simple
Let her
question.
talk. Let her talk, please.
I have a simple question. If Austin initiated the verbal altercation, if Austin verbally threatened Karmelo Anthony, and then Austin escalated it to a physical attack, how at that point is Karmelo Anthony not defending himself?
Because that's not what happened.
That is exactly that's what happened.
Well, that is exactly.
Witness testified that that's what happened.
That's
Look,
not what
Kim, the fact is that Karmelo literally went into his bag. He reached in secretly and
I'm talking about before that. No,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He premeditated the whole stabbing scenario.
That was not what was.
Can y'all answer my question? If Austin initiated the verbal confrontation, First of all, yes, it was. That's how y'all not paying attention. That's how y'all are not paying attention. Because the literal witnesses testified that Austin and his twin Hunter initiated the verbal confrontation. Every witness testified that Karmelo Anthony wasn't saying nothing to them. He wasn't confronting them. He wasn't saying nothing. He was talking just to his friend. And then Austin and Hunter, well, they left Hunter out. I will say that in the testimony, which is also questionable. But the testimony was Austin initiated the verbal confrontation. Austin verbally threatened to physically attack Karmelo Anthony, and then Austin escalated it until a physical attack. 1, 2, 3. Then how is not Karmelo Anthony not simply defending himself?
Real quick, easy. Hey, ma'am, please, give me 1 second. CT says, CT smoking on Austin. You guys are horrible human beings, man. Real quick, 6 stream broken with the $5 super chat. We're talking to witnesses. How about the defense witness who said self-defense, but was shown during the cross-examination to be? We already read that. Anyway, go ahead, guys.
Can I mention something real quick? This is this is in deference to Kim. Let's get off of trying to figure out why this verdict came down the way that it did. My concern is the charge, manslaughter versus murder, because again, when you start to compare cases, and for some reason they don't like to do this. There's the woman maybe a year or 2 years ago, if you remember, there was a woman that was shot through a door. Yeah, she was shot through a door. Go ahead.
The black woman, or
the 80-year-old white guy shot her through the door. She was knocking on the door, let her know. No, that's not it.
But they did. But they did.
A white woman complaining about some.
Easy, Kim. Easy. Let Africa finish, please. Easy.
I wasn't done, but you let Kim cut me off. So
right, that's true. That is true.
Go ahead, Savage. You want to go ahead, Savage? Go ahead.
Yeah. So Kim, again, that's not what was testified to. The witnesses stated that Metcalf told Anthony he didn't want to fight him. That was testified to. It also was testified to by the defense that it was that Austin stabbed himself with the knife. That was testified to by a defense witness, which that testimony shows that the stabbing and the shove were at the same time. So the way that you're trying to paint it, that it was a step-by-step process of Austin being the aggressor, is not what was in the testimony.
What you're saying doesn't even make any sense, because if Austin thrusted himself upon the knife, if Austin thrusted himself upon the knife, how's that murder?
This is why he got stabbed. Look, this man is trying to talk. Then she started, boom, stab her, boom, get her out of here. Go. Can I get to the point about the different charge? That this woman was shot through a door. There was you brought in the race thing, but that's a component where this woman had a racial history with a neighbor, and she ends up knocking on the door of the white homeowner, and this woman ends up getting killed through that homeowner's door in front of this woman's children. That ended up with a manslaughter charge versus this kid getting a murder charge. Even the
amazing, isn't it?
So CT, can you let the winners talk?
Apple nerd.
Can the winners talk, man? I'm tired of hearing from these losers, man. They
know,
lost. You guys lost. Let the winners talk. It's just not a game. See, the fact that you're
lost.
Soon.
Yes. Yeah, very soon. I'm mindful, as I mentioned earlier, of the sequestration.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't listen to a lot of that right there. But the girl was being loud. I do understand her point, because she kind of was saying what I was saying a little bit there. But the guy was trying to sit there and tell them that Karmelo Anthony's defense lawyer did say something, I think, just like kind of put the nail in the coffin. When the defense lawyer said that Metcalf somehow stabbed himself, literally sources told me that the jury, there was a gasp, like, yeah, you hear me? Karmelo Anthony's defense lawyer argued that perhaps Metcalf stabbed himself. I mean, was this defense lawyer trying to get the dude? I mean, what the heck? What was that? That was crazy. But no, when it all comes down to it, so it's like, look, people are going to have their pre-biases and things on there. But again, y'all, I don't blame people for having like the mindsets that they do a lot of times. But what I am going to say to you is that it does take some maturity. It does take you being in certain situations for your brain to actually be unbiased in situations and get into it and be able to see it without having like a preconceived side or preconceived judgment. Just like I did in this whole thing. I gave y'all both sides, and then guess what happened? Y'all saw this in real time. Some of y'all thought I'm up here trying to defend Karmelo Anthony. Some of y'all up here trying to make it seem like I'm trying to defend Austin Metcalf, when all I did was simply presented you with what is factual. That's it. That's it. The facts. So I don't know what's going on Chaotic Truth channel right there with those guys going back and forth like that, but that's some wild statements right there.
Again, I mentioned certainly the possibility of testing. I mean, you pointed out we already know or appear to know he's a 3.7 GPA student. You'd hear this kind of from both sides.
Who cares?
The attorney for the defense, Mike, he started out and he was saying a brother or son. So even in the punishment phase, you want to try to bring some of these notions back. The scope of admissibility.
Okay, I'm gonna read one of these comments here. I just saw one about a coach right here. Okay. Carol Beck says, because the coach put Austin in charge of the tent to make sure nobody came in that was not supposed to be in there. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing, though. Our coaches did the same thing with us, right? But I'm keeping it real. We had canopies and tents too. And our coach would say, if as a team, as a team, if it's going to be more, if all of us are getting ready to go disperse and go get some hot dogs and burgers and all this, you got somebody getting ready to run their event, we need to have somebody in the tent watching the tent so nobody's stuff gets stolen. I get that. You're absolutely right. Coach got to be over there by shot put. Coach might have to be over there getting ready to help somebody get their stuff together for the hurdles. I understand all that. Even our assistant coach, they might have to go over there to the long jump pit. I get it. Somebody needs to stay near. If you don't have no event coming up, stay in the tent. We need to have somebody here watching our stuff. I get that. And you're absolutely right. But allegedly, they were all getting in the tent because of the rain. So this wasn't the case, or was it? Right? And even with that being said, as athletes, it's not our job to push somebody out physically out of our tent. That's not. What you do, you go get your coach, you go get the assistant coach, or even the people even the officials. You can tell the officials, hey, this dude won't leave our tent, man. We don't know what track team he's on or nothing like that, but if you don't leave our tent, and guess what? The officials will say, look, you need to leave. And if you don't get out of their tent, whatever event that you're in, we can disqualify you for that. I told you, I did track all my life. I know how this all works, right? But you are right about that the coach can't put somebody in. I was in charge of our tent and watching the stuff and all that. But when somebody came under the tent, yeah, you gave them a look like, hey, what you doing? Oh, man, I thought this is our tent, because some of us had the same colors. But when it was raining, they're claiming that it was raining and all that. And Karmelo Anthony went there to get out of the rain, allegedly. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying right here. So shout out to Carlo Beck for that. You're right. Yep. Mama Carol. Yep, you're right. And we all know this, guys. Come on, y'all. High school dude. Y'all, let's keep it real, man. You can look it up, man. I'll show y'all. I got inducted into the Hall of Fame in my city, in my state. I got inducted to the High School Sports Hall of Fame. I know what it's like to compete. I'm still competitive right now, right? I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have that testosterone and that aggression and stuff. I know what that's like. But at the same time, the trash talking and all that stuff took place in the sport. Did we bump up against somebody on basketball? We bumped up, gave each other some pushes and things like that. Yeah, on the court. But guess what? In basketball, while you're doing the sport, if you push somebody, even punch them, you're not going to jail for assault. That's going to be a school-to-school handling thing. And most of the time, it's nothing. So this could have been nothing had dude not pulled out a knife and stabbed him. If an altercation would have broke out and they would have fought, and it would have been over with, okay? Karmelo Anthony probably would have got in trouble. Metcalf would have got in trouble. And or neither one of them would have got in trouble because this stuff is not new to be fighting like this at a school event. It's not new, right? But what is new is the fact that, you know, he happened to get stabbed, and that's horrible. But for that defense lawyer to say, that perhaps Metcalf stabbed himself, I think he killed it for them with that.
Obviously does that. Many moms worry about their children every day when they go out the door. You worry about them when you're teaching them to drive. You worry about them when you send them off to college. And so, you know, that's the identification, the commonality where.
Okay, let's address that. You said, okay, then he stabs the coach, and you say coach should have called the cops? No. Why would he stab the coach? Because you know what? Most coaches, son, you need to leave this tent. Son, you need to leave this tent. What Metcalf did? I'm not leaving this tent. I'm going to stab you. See, now you're getting away from why Karmelo stabbed Metcalf. And again, for some of you that might be tuning in right now, I'm not making the case for neither one of them at all, but I'm just stating the facts. Metcalf was stabbed as the result of pushing Karmelo Anthony twice. Was it right? No. So what I'm saying, when I say call a coach over, coach represents what? Authority. Karmelo Anthony looked at Metcalf as nothing more than an equal as another high school student. But if it was a coach, son, you need to get from under this tent right now and go on where you need to go. If Karmelo Anthony would have argued with the coach would have called an official. And guess what? At these track meets, there's usually always a cop there anyway. They would have got a hold of him. Come and get this dude from underneath our tent. We tell him to leave. He's not leaving. That's what a coach most likely would have done. But what a coach would not have done is put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, another student. So I disagree. They didn't fight. Austin said he didn't want to fight. Stop trying to say it was a kid who got murdered's fault. This is a yes or no question for you. Nobody, you missing the point. Did Metcalf push Karmelo Anthony? Yes. Witnesses said that. Did Karmelo Anthony say, touch me again and see what happens? Witnesses say yes. Did Metcalf push, shove, tap Karmelo Anthony again? Witnesses them all say yes. And then what happened after that? He got stabbed. That's factual. So now, what would be different is if they argued and Metcalf didn't say, if they argued and Metcalf never pushed him, shoved him, tapped him, would Metcalf have got stabbed? If he would have got stabbed, that would have been completely different. So I'm not justifying what Karmelo Anthony did, but I'm just stating facts of what he did. He got pushed twice. Metcalf got stabbed once. That's it. I wonder what else is being said that's new.
That was particularly surprising. A lot of the measures that were put in place to try to protect, if you will, the trial, I think were those were the things that were unique about it. But unfortunately, there's lots of homicides across the state, and there's murder trials almost every week. And so, there wasn't something that just stood out, like that. Maybe the court on Saturday, which is rare.
Well, we've had court on Saturday, even here in Dallas County. It's been infrequent. And Russell, we are joined now by Clarice Tinsley. Good to see you, Clarice.
You as well, Sean.
It's been infrequent that we've had Saturday court. Maybe the Amber Geiger trial, we had Saturday court. I covered that. You are right. There are no facts, there were no circumstances here that are different from many of the murder trials that take place every day across Dallas County, Harris County, Travis County, Bexar County, Collin County. This was unique in not only what happened, where it happened, when it happened, and in the moments immediately after. Within an hour or 2 hours after it happened, the father of Austin Metcalf is on TV. Within an hour after that, the mother was on. They're sharing their pain. It's raw. The family's there. They're on national news the same night. That usually doesn't happen with a homicide victim so quickly. We get to the families, but not within hours after.
Right. The social media current was powerful. And I mean, that's what we're still witnessing today. And, the racial undertones that came out as well. So when I'm saying not unique, I think just in the core facts, but the amount of division, the amount of views, the conversations it sparked, those are the things that are going to continue to make it a national discussion, and that's why it will be remembered.
Russell,
is for what it caused in that regard. Yes, ma'am.
And Russell, the fact that the last three members of the jury pool, the three women who were Black, who were teachers, no Black juror, no African American juror on the panel, and the fact that those three women were removed or disqualified. What is your reaction to that? And is that something, do you think, might be used on appeal?
It's most certainly is going to go up on appeal. It continues to be a disputed issue. Without having heard the entirety of the voir dire, I think.
Look here, I'm gonna play. Look what you just said. Wow, I'm surprised. Sounds like victim blaming. There are fights in school every day. No one expects to shove to end in death. Period. Nothing else. Unsub. Okay, you clearly did not hear what I said. You clearly are not comprehending what I said. I presented you with facts. You concluded. You could look. That's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to help you out here. Paisley. I'm trying to help you out here. I presented you with facts. Your comprehension came out and said that I'm victim blaming. I told you what Metcalf did. What did Metcalf do? Leave the tent. Karmelo Anthony, no. Leave the tent. No. Metcalf pushed Karmelo Anthony. I said, I'm telling you what the witnesses said. So are you saying that the witnesses are victim blaming too? Yeah, you talking about you unsubbing, okay. Great on you. I hope you go and find another channel that would please you and all the things that you love and all that. I hope you find a channel that doesn't think on their own and don't do any of those things. I hope you find a channel that agrees with everything you want them to do and they agree with you on everything you say. I hope you find peace, love, and happiness with all that. Okay? Y'all act like y'all sticking it to me. I'm unsubscribing. Okay. It's not like okay. Did you announce your arrival? Why are you announcing your departure? By the time this video is over with, at least 30 people are going to already subscribe to the channel. So, oh no.
In these circumstances,
can they
if
quit
you were
showing
to
this
say
mess
both
right here?
people
Look at
were the
this.
same color or a different color, the law would say, can you defend yourself in this manner or not? And so there's that issue to try to balance with. And, the other issue, is certainly probably the argument, or this is the argument that, well, if a person of color, if there was a Black juror on there, does that, suggest that they would have seen it less criminal or not? And so, the discussion or verdict still would have had to come from 12 people,
Sure.
would have had to have been a unanimous verdict. We generally think of teachers as being mediators among disputes in schools, and being able to see both sides of it. So it may have been, that
Absolutely
for whatever
right.
reason, the state may have decided that wasn't the best type of juror for this type of case.
I guess
And
that's what surprised me, Russell and Sean, because when you do think of teachers, you think of the profession, you think of someone who's going to weigh different sides of an issue, someone who would be neutral and look at the information. I mean, really look at the evidence that would be provided and deal with it on a intellectual or a non-emotional way. And I guess I just was surprised that the teachers, that would have been a profession that they would not have wanted to be on the panel.
perhaps there's, and Russell
Well,
can speak to this better than me, but perhaps there's the idea that they might be overly sympathetic to a young person, race notwithstanding.
right. And I think that, but and I don't currently know the occupations of the other jurors. But if your strikes are among a conservative rancher who's let's say he has some cattle in North Collin County, and I have a teacher, I may choose to strike the teacher in favor of the rancher because I feel like the rancher may be less compassionate than the teacher. And so it's also a little bit of a relativity type thing. Or if I have a person who does what we call hard sciences, engineers, well, they may be less compassionate in their analytics.
Mhm.
And so, I think that would come into play as well. And so that's going to be discussed. And certainly the attorneys for the state had to know that that would be discussed. And there'll be people that will always view that, they'll say, hey, yeah, no, they struck them because of their race. And that we'll never know what the answers, will be on those questions. We'll know what the answers we got in court, what the ruling was. But certainly, we also know what the evidence was in the case.
In case you are just now joining us on our digital platforms, Karmelo Anthony found guilty of murder in the trial for the murder of young Mr. Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, and the jury now deliberating punishment. They will decide. They will decide the punishment, but they still might be in recess.
I think we're still waiting for them to do closing arguments.
They're
So
still in recess. I guess they haven't gotten the charge yet.
Right,
And
right.
closing arguments.
Yeah, I think we're going to hear, or we won't be able to actually hear it, but yeah, I think we'll get closing arguments, and then the deliberation.
Yes.
Given the way that this is rolling, I'm assuming he's not going to give much time for closing arguments.
I would guess not. Maybe a half hour or less, you think?
I was thinking 15 minutes aside, but maybe. I mean, if there's an intention to give an opportunity to be done today,
Okay.
And today ends at 6, then I think, and you assume at least an hour or more of deliberation. But if not, I mean, the other thing is the jury could also ask not to be sequestered, but just extend their deliberations into the evening. So,
The case,
I
Russell
think,
Wilson,
yeah,
have you had a case where the punishment phase deliberation was longer than the guilt or innocent phase?
yes,
Okay.
yes, we have. We've had yes, we've had, I can recall some cases, literally, the jurors were out, for days on punishment. Um, Again, that wide range, and a relatively youthful, person who's convicted. Um, you know, Most people that make it on to the jury don't necessarily show up, uh, wanting to give a person, a harsh sentence. If you wake up on a given day, do you wake up wishing bad for somebody?
Mhm.
Uh, and so that isn't necessarily easily achieved. Um, Again, if we know more about the jurors here, we could, we might be able to read something from the speed with which they reached the murder guilty verdict. And again, some of their backgrounds. I think some of them, from the descriptions I've understood, tend to be from more conservative, professional sectors, which may suggest that they would tend to sentence higher, um, on a punishment case.
Well, Russell and Sean, we're getting some reporting from Lori Brown, who's been covering this trial. She says that Judge Roach is back, but family is not in the courtroom. The judge, she said, just came and shook all the reporters' hands and thanked us for following the rules. Attorneys and the judge are working on the jury charge for the punishment phase. In light of the verdict, she says, this is my take on the key moments from closing statements. Prosecution gave 4 reasons self-defense does not apply. 1, provoke. Anthony provoked the encounter. 2, force disparity. You can't meet a shove with a stab. You can meet a shove with a shove or deadly force with deadly force. Number 3, reasonable belief from Worski. A reasonable person would not have plunged a knife into Austin Metcalf. Number 4, immediately necessary. Deadly force must be immediately necessary. Worski argued there was not immediate necessity to plunge a knife into an unarmed man. In addition, in Texas, a person who does not need to intend to kill someone for it to still be murder. If someone intended to cause serious bodily injury, that is murder according to jury instructions.
Yeah. No, I would tend to agree with those.
So as you prepare your
100%, I agree
closing
with that.
statements now before this jury, let's first talk about the defense. He's guilty, okay, of murder. What do you say
Mhm.
now in this moment? There's really no need to talk
But
about.
I think you, depending on what your demeanor was during voir dire, I mean, I think you thank them for their time and their service, and you get right down to your issue. And I was saying, I don't know that you need.
Think safety. Think Granger. For trusted products to lock, anchor, contain.
For Karmelo Anthony, nor do I think you necessarily need 30 minutes to give the punishment case for Austin Metcalf. You should be about getting to it. It's later in the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain amount of juror fatigue. I don't know if you've been in courtrooms, during the morning time. There's a more energy, just as the day goes on.
Yes.
As you get up to witness 20, and so you want to be able to keep attention, and you don't do that by having something that, in my view, is long-winded. But you've got to be, precise here. And so, and you've got things that you want to cover. Given the limited number of witnesses, there's not going to be necessarily new punishment stuff.
Right.
And so, again, I think it's hard to, you're really just rehashing from the existing evidence, mitigating things, with age, youth, and lack of criminal history being the main ones. And for the age, youth, and, a few.
This isn't right. Carmelo Anthony is just a kid. He shouldn't go to prison. You're joking. You joking. You trolling right now. Run escapes. I know you're trolling. There's no way you're not. You're trolling. He a criminal. He's a murderer. What else is he gonna do? Go to an all boys correctional center home where they just plant flowers and stuff and plant gardens? No, he going to prison, and rightfully so. He's a murderer. You're trolling. There's no way you're not trolling. Fernandez T with the $10 super chat says, "Hey bro, glad to see you're live. What's up? What's up from Southern California?" Fernandez, what's going on, man? My brother lives in San Diego. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, dude going to prison, man. He's going to prison. Yeah. He send him to MRM house. He will straighten him out. He'll be begging. He will be begging to go back home to his mom and dad. He wouldn't like it here. Prison will be easy for him compared to here. Yeah, my stuff will be harsh. Yeah. Alexandria, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Mr. Paul Top, appreciate that. Unfortunately, some people don't understand that. Like you can tell people both sides of what's going on, and they can just draw their own conclusions, what they trying to perceive you to say, versus just listen to the facts. He said when making it real goes bad. Yeah. Plaid Paisley, yeah, go back and listen to it. You're not going to see that I'm trying to present and make it seem like somebody is like, you know what I'm saying? It's just read wrong. I just presented you with both sides of what was said, and that was it. And then you just heard what the lady said in a factual manner. I didn't say it in the court words of what y'all just heard that woman so eloquently explain it. But what she basically got done saying, as far as how the judge told the jurors them, that's literally what I said. I just said it in other words. I said they told what happened. What's this? I said, yeah, Metcalf should not have pushed him. When Metcalf pushed him, I said, you can go watch this video over again. I said, now if Carmelo Anthony would have pushed him back, they would have got the scrapping. I said it would have been a done deal. It would have been a high school fight gone bad. They both would have got suspended or something like that. Blah, 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 blah. I said, but when you are out and about, I don't care if you at a football game, if you out in life, I said, what you can't do, you as an individual, you can't dictate what somebody should do to you if you do something to them. So people taking it like I'm saying, oh, so you saying he should have stopped. No, I did not. What I'm saying is that if you meet me out in person and you go, Ty, I don't like your content. I think that you are blah, 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 and you smack me, you can't say what I do back to you. So if I completely slam you on your head and stump your face and make you swallow your teeth, you can't determine that. Now, of course, I can get in trouble for doing that to you because I went to the extreme, but all I'm saying is that nobody can say, well, he should have pushed him back if he pushed him. He should have smacked him back if he smacked him. He should have punched him back if he punched him. So what they just got done saying was exactly that. They said what Carmelo Anthony did was not justifiable because a shove should not be met with a knife. And I completely agree with that. But what I'm saying as an individual, you can't make that determination on what a person going to do back to you if you put your hands on them. That's what I was saying. So some people took that like, you're victim shaming. No, You missing the point.
Do those people then say, well, let's meet in the middle at XYZ 30? It certainly could happen. Because remember, they don't have a true basis. There's no guide rail to tell you why 28 is better than 32, or you don't have a way to distinguish the differences in the numbers. And you certainly don't have a way to tell somebody that their number is wrong, at least, and you may have some people that go in and say, no, I don't care, a life for a life. I want to see him get a life sentence. And, if you have enough people that view it like that, then that certainly is what could happen. But, it's, we know that they're, were able to reach agreement relatively quickly on, no as to manslaughter in the range between murder, and no as to self-defense. But they had guide rails for that. And that's what allowed Bill Werski, to be able to hit those 4 points relatively quickly.
Right.
Because what he's saying is lining up, kind of with the jury instructions. And so it's not much of a debate, if you will. But on this issue, there's more latitude. But so yeah, I think if they start by 4 with their reading the instructions, I think that they would choose to continue to deliberate as opposed to having to go home, be under guard, not being able to call your family overnight, being in a hotel room, perhaps with no TV, and provided, neutral reading materials, if you will, and having to wake up, get on a bus because you're sequestered, come back to the Collin County Court for the sole purpose of continuing the deliberation. I think a lot of people in that boat will choose to try to finish.
They're looking at a very large police presence outside of the Collin County Courthouse, certainly a very charged atmosphere, lots of reactions to the verdict today. But in terms of the crowd and the people who were there, the spectators, lots of conversation, lots of discussion, sometimes heated,
Yes.
but
Peaceful.
very peaceful. Yeah. And we've seen people for and against who are holding up the signs, who are doing the protest, supporting it or speaking out against it. But Sean, no violence.
No, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's what our First Amendment, that should happen. That should happen. We should let our passions be known and express ourselves, but without assaulting one another.
Right.
Let me ask you real quick, Russell. I'm not sure on this, but in deciding punishment, is the jury required to be unanimous, or it's not unanimous for punishment?
No, it has to be unanimous as well.
Okay.
So you've got to have an agreement of all 12.
Okay.
So
Under prison sentence. Okay. I wasn't sure on
Right.
that part.
And very
know that.
rarely have there been juries that have hung on the punishment issue.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's got to be unanimous. Again, they never have to explain their decision. If their identities have been, relatively sheltered, then they can render their verdict and go back to their lives. Some of them, I'm sure, though, I would not be surprised, will speak and say,
Well, the families
how
are now
they
back in the
feel.
courtroom, Clarice.
Yeah, Lori Brown's just reporting that both of the families are now back in Russell. So it looks like things are going to start to continue to move forward for the next phase.
And maybe to your timeline, Russell Wilson, maybe by 6 o'clock today, or they might stay later if they're in the throes of weighing the punishment at that moment. We're gonna take a
I mean,
break.
I would be. Yeah, I mean, that's just the guess based off of experience, but yeah, you rarely have jurors that look forward to sequestration.
Right.
That's true.
You know, so I think if we start by 4, particularly if we're just doing closing arguments, if there's 15 minutes aside, you'll probably see the prosecution will pass again, or be an argument about who goes first and who goes last. But if the state goes last, they'll let the defense go, and then they'll have sufficient time to have those discussions. And particularly, they don't have really much new evidence, right? It certainly wouldn't have been a surprise that his mom would say, save my son's life. And so that'll be, probably another discussion as well.
Yes.
Well, Russell, it's 10 minutes to 4. We're going to take a brief break and we're going to continue our coverage right after this.
All right. All right. All right.
All right, good people. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button right now. They are going on a brief break.
Okay.
Hopefully we
Another
can
break.
find something out. I can still hear them talking in the
Okay,
background.
because at 4 o'clock, Clarice, we're gonna have to switch to IFB on our phone.
They messed up.
Oh,
This IFB.
I don't think we're supposed to be hearing
won't
this.
be able
oh
to
yeah,
hear.
that's right.
So whatever
Uh-oh,
your
what if they
IFB
screw up and
number
say
is for
something wrong?
live shots away from the building.
I don't have that.
Okay. Clarice, I'll put you in mind.
Let's see what y'all really think. They're not
Six,
supposed
thank
to be
you,
live
man.
right
We're gonna get ready for the 4 o'clock newscast. Russell, thank you so much, Frat. All right, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye, Russell.
Talk with y'all as always. All right. See y'all later.
See you then,
All right.
man. Thank you.
All right.
Hot mic. Hot mic.
So we need to get Clarice's IFB. Oh, okay. Okay.
That'll be messed up if they tell us what they really think and they screw up.
Well, I have my phone for my IFB when it's time.
Fernandez T said, "What sins do you think he should get? Life?" No.
Okay.
I'm just telling y'all. Look, I get it. I get that he's a kid. I get. See, it's hard for me because I'm such a disciplinarian, y'all. I get that Karmelo Anthony is a kid. I get that he regrets it. I get that he's young, but I have to stick to principle, right? They just got done saying that the force that was used from Metcalf was far less severe than the force that Karmelo Anthony used, right? Far more severe. So in this particular case, Metcalf's life is gone. You can't get no more severe than another person's life being gone as well. Now, he's not going to die, but he's going to be in prison. So personally, me, and this is arguable, I know that Karmelo Anthony, if he was to get 20 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be, which he might, he gets out of jail, he might be a different person. He might be good. But I would look at it the same way. I'm going to use more. You can't get no more severe than being dead. You know what I mean? You can't. So to me, Karmelo Anthony, in my opinion, he would, because how I am, he would get life. That to me, y'all, you can't say he made a mistake. I don't believe that. When you say, touch me again and see what happened, you knew what you were going to do. So you can't say now that the dude is dead. I didn't mean for him to die. No, you knew you were going to stab him. You knew you had a knife. You knew that when Metcalf, if he was to push you again, you knew it. We all have done it before. I've done it in fights, bro. I'm telling you right now, push me again. And I've done it, y'all. I'm keeping it real. I'm one of those weird people that I enjoy fighting. I did. I enjoyed fighting growing up as a kid. My wife will tell you, I still don't do well with people trying to intimidate me right now. You can try. I've been in many debates. I've been on panels. I've been in speaking events all over. And I tell people, you can cuss me out. You can say what you want. You can do all those things. Just please don't touch me. And I do it. Those of you, I don't know if any of you are in here right now, but those that go to my speaking events that might be in here right now, I say it all the time. Just don't touch me. Just don't. Talk trash, disagree with me. You can even threaten me, but just don't touch me. Don't push me. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. So that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with dude using a knife, but I do understand the whole notion of don't touch me and don't push me. Now, with that being said, if somebody do put their hands on me and I completely mollywop them, I know that there's going to be some consequences to that. And whatever consequences come with that, I'm going to have to deal with it. So what I'm saying therefore is this. Karmelo Anthony knew that he had a knife. Push me again and see what happens. He knew that his intentions was to get that knife and stab dude with it. Otherwise, he could have thrown hands with Metcalf. He could have thrown hands, but he didn't. So I get that mama is saying, oh, he made a mistake. No, he didn't. No, he didn't make a mistake. He knew he was going to stab him. And I'm telling y'all this because my sons, when they were growing up, it was the same exact type of way. My wife felt that the punishment she knew I was about to give my sons, she felt that way. He really didn't do nothing. I'm still beating his butt. I'm about to whoop his butt. No, but listen, Ty, look, I just told him, and he really, no, I don't care what you say, babe. He knew he wasn't supposed to do it. My sons knew they weren't supposed to do it, but they did it anyway. So I'm getting ready to whoop this butt. No, but I mean, you don't have to whoop him back. What you mean? There ain't no levels to me. There ain't no levels to my punishment. I'm about to whoop him. All my whoopings are gonna be good. So all my punishments are just. I'm trying to be like the Lord. I'm trying to be like God. When I punish you, it's gonna be a just punishment. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. So with something like this, he's gonna do life. To me, I'm talking about if it was me, Karmelo Anthony will be doing life in prison because he took a life. And you can't tell me that you didn't try to, it wasn't intentional, that wasn't. Yes, it was. You knew you were going to use that knife, sir. So now you might feel remorseful. I get it. I understand. He can turn his life around and give his life to the Lord. Karmelo Anthony can repent of his murderous sin, give his life to the Lord, repent of it, be forgiven by the Lord, serve out his life in prison, die, and go to heaven, according to Christian faith. He can do all those things. But on a judgmental level here on earth, I'm like, bro, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. No, Ty, but he can change. He can come out and be a contributor to society. No, I don't care. He made the decision and he knew what he was going to do with that knife. He knew it. So, yep, you're getting life. Y'all said life without the possibility of parole. No, you're not getting out. You're staying in there. That's what comes with this. Now, God, honestly, I'm the type of person to where I'm not about to go to Texas, but if he was in one of the states that I reside in, I would be the type of person that will go there and really encourage him to turn his life over to God, to be forgiven, tell him, no, you're going to be hated by the world, dude. You're going to be hated by the world. You're going to be loved by the people. But what I am telling you, you give your life over to the Lord, who is just to forgive you for what his family can forgive him. Look, y'all see Erica Kirk forgave the shooter, right? Right? She forgave the shooter. But it don't mean you ain't about to serve time for pulling that trigger and killing dude. You killed Charlie Kirk, bro. You ain't if you don't get the death penalty, you're going for the rest of your life. Now, although Erica Kirk says she forgave him, it's not going to stop the punishment from happening. So it's the same thing with Karmelo Anthony. Yeah. If Metcalf family forgives him and it's a fight going bad, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the family can forgive him. They can go up to him and tell him they forgive him. They can give Karmelo Anthony a hug if they want to. The twin, Metcalf twin, can go and give Karmelo Anthony a hug. It's not going to stop the punishment. KC Cap with the super chat says, I believe Karmelo was looking for trouble. Whoever engaged him was going to be the one stabbed. Sadly, it ended up to be Austin. I understand what you're saying right there, but sis, I have to disagree because I can't. I mean, I've known people that brought knives and stuff all the time. They weren't looking for trouble. I can't make that determination saying you brought a knife because you were deliberately looking for trouble because you knew you wanted to stab or kill somebody. I mean, I conceal carry, right? I conceal carry my gun with me. Does that mean that I'm carrying because I'm looking for trouble? Or I'm carrying because it's for defense? See, I'm just saying, like, I can't say that that's what Karmelo Anthony was doing, but I can say that when he got pushed the first time and Karmelo Anthony said, push me again and watch what happened, Karmelo Anthony knew that he was about to use that knife. He knew, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you with this knife. I believe that that's what he did then because his action showed it. But I can't say that the only reason why he carried the knife because he's just looking for trouble. I can't say that. He never should have had it in the first place. He went wrong with that. Karmelo Anthony went wrong when he brought a knife to school, period. He went wrong from the get-go, and he knew it was wrong, and yet at the same time, he still chose to do it. So everything, that's what I'm saying. I get it, but that's why I have, bro, you going to jail for the rest of your life. I don't believe that you brought your knife with you because you was looking to kill somebody, but the thing is, Karmelo Anthony, was you supposed to have a knife with you, yes or no? No, that's it. It's a wrap. We don't even got to talk about everything else to follow. You knew you weren't supposed to bring a knife, and yet you brought it. Yeah, but I wasn't going there to kill nobody. It doesn't matter. If you didn't bring the knife with you at all, sir, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. That's it. Let me see if there's anything new.
Well, following the verdict, and we're still waiting for jurors to begin deliberating a sentence. Thank you for joining us as we continue breaking news coverage on Fox 4 News at 4. I'm Eden Sheckholm. We have team coverage on the ground as well. Several Fox 4 crews getting live updates from inside of the courtroom and reactions on the ground. First, though, we want to bring in Fox 4's Sean Rabb, who has been part of our breaking news coverage all afternoon. He joins us now with what's going on at the moment in the punishment phase. Sean.
So at this very moment, the jurors are receiving the charge and will very soon begin deliberating and deciding the punishment for Karmelo Anthony. Listen, the charge says you have found the defendant guilty. It is now your duty to assess punishment. The issue of sudden passion has been raised. Sudden passion suggests this was not premeditated. This was not planned, that Karmelo Anthony didn't go to that track meet planning to exact violence and take someone's life. It was in the heat of the moment. And so because that has been raised, here's part of the charge to the jurors about sudden passion. If you determine sudden passion, you may not sentence him for more than 20 years. If not sudden passion, you can sentence him to life. Sudden passion caused by provocation by the person killed. So that's where the jury are. They're getting the charge, then they will return to that jury room and they will decide how long Karmelo Anthony will serve time in the Texas Department of Corrections for the murder of Austin Metcalf. That could happen between now and 6 o'clock. They could return with that decision before the day has ended.
And considering how quickly things have moved in this trial, we might as well, find out what they decide very soon, surely by the end of the day today. Thank you so much, Sean. Let's now head over to Fox 4's Alex Boyer, who has been live outside of the courthouse in McKinney all day. Alex, what can you tell us about the reaction out there and just how people are feeling at the moment? When we spoke to you about 2 hours ago, it looked like tensions were rising. Have things calmed down?
They have, for the moment, Eden, as you mentioned, of course, like emotions, the day has ebbed and flowed with the way folks have been reacting to what they have been hearing. We've had a few people come up to us within the last hour and just kind of venting at us over what the verdict has been. But all in all, folks here have remained quite calm and peaceful. I can tell you that the crowd began to build first thing this morning outside the Collin County Courthouse as attorneys for both sides were presenting closing arguments. Then the jury got the case just before 11 a.m. Excuse me. During jury deliberations, many folks were out here live streaming on social media. Others were simply sitting under trees and talking to one another, and others were chanting and praying. When word got out that there was a verdict, the crowd all but began to gather near, excuse me, the steps of the courthouse. Over a dozen law enforcement officers came out and formed a line separating the crowd from the steps of the courthouse. And from my vantage point, most people seemed to abide by the officers' orders. When the crowd learned that Karmelo Anthony had been found guilty of murder, I heard some audible gasps and moans, but many people stayed quiet. I think that they were really digesting what they learned. Then I heard a woman yell, "Let's stay together." And another woman got on a loudspeaker and started preaching. Some people have left over the past hour, but many are staying to see if the jury who convicted him will also reach a sentencing agreement today. Now, if we can come back out here live to my ground shot here, you may be able to see the law enforcement presence that you were just seeing from Sky 4 on the ground. You can see at the moment kind of a casual stance. They were all certainly lined up and a lot more active when that sentencing, or I should say verdict, first came down. Now, as we await what the sentencing will be for Karmelo Anthony, the fate, they are kind of more at ease, but keeping an eye on the crowd here, which again has remained relatively peaceful throughout the entire time that I have been here. Back to you.
It's good to know that things have been peaceful. We've really seen people on both sides, those who feel that, who agree with this sentencing or with this verdict, who are on Austin Metcalf's side and feel that justice was served, and those who are on Karmelo Anthony's side and feel as though that this was too harsh. Our Amelia Jones at the courthouse as well. She is in the middle of the crowd there. Amelia, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? What can you tell us?
Well, Eden, we have seen people gather in kind of large groups on and off all afternoon. I'm not sure if my photographer, Sam, can kind of pan in here over my right shoulder. This is kind of what I'm talking about, just larger crowds gathering, just really sharing their reactions with one another about the verdict, potentially about what they believe is happening inside the courtroom as journalists like our Fox 4 Lori Brown is sharing updates, and then the journalists on the ground are sharing updates. You might see a lot of cell phones up in the air. We know that social media, this case has really taken on a life of its own online. And so a lot of people are live streaming right now. They were live streaming before that verdict was issued, and they've kind of been live streaming ever since. Now, there are a couple of Collin County Sheriff pickup trucks and squad cars here. I have not seen any clashes with law enforcement. As you heard my colleague Alex Boyer say, the supporters and people who have gathered here have really respected law enforcement. Law enforcement has not had to kind of come towards the crowd, say anything. We haven't really even seen them interact much, but they do have a presence here, clearly. And they have created this barrier between the sidewalk here and the parking lot and the front of the Collin County Courthouse. I have been talking to people, and they shared their reaction with me after that verdict was issued. And one man told me that there is no winning on either side of this. Take a listen.
I just tell people this, man, is until you've been in this situation, you don't know how anybody's feeling. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, this is a no-win situation on either side. You know, you have a child that is not going to be here anymore. God bless his family. And to the family who's going through this situation with their son, it's unfortunate.
Now, we are hearing some, like Alex was talking, upset comments. We know that this trial, no cameras were allowed. It was not live streamed. It was not televised. But as someone who was in the courtroom every afternoon to hear testimony, I know that the journalists I sat next to, we were doing our best to share accurately what we were hearing and what we were seeing inside that courtroom. And the jurors were tasked to take all of the evidence that they heard in that testimony to come to this guilty murder verdict. Now, I'm not sure what people are waiting for out here. Obviously, we know that the punishment phase of the trial is going on right now. I'm not sure if they're waiting to see if any of the family members are going to talk or if any of the attorneys are going to talk. I haven't really had a chance to ask, why they are staying here. All I know is that they are, and we've just seen more people arrive to the parking lot. For now, Eden, that's what I'm seeing live out here. Back to you.
And again, we should note that Karmelo Anthony faces anywhere from 5 years to 99 years in prison. As Amelia mentioned, no cameras allowed in the courtroom. So we've had crews all over. We've had our Lori Brown inside of the courtroom. We've had Amelia Jones outside of the courthouse and Alex Boyer. So really, they have tried their best to share what both sides are arguing, what the defense is claiming, what the prosecution is claiming, and trying to paint the picture of what all is going on there. So as this case prepares for the punishment phase, Fox 4 is, of course, committed to keeping you up to date. We're going to be live
on the Fox Local app when there's an update. So make sure that you turn on your notifications to receive the update right to your home screen. We will be right back.
All right, ladies and gents. Again, if you just now tuning in, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. They found Karmelo Anthony to be guilty of murder. And now it's you see what Sugar Cookie put right there. If they do sudden passion sentencing, the most he'd get is 20 years. That's what he's going to get, y'all. That's what he's going to get. He is not going to get the premeditation. I really don't believe he's going to get the premeditation. I believe he's going to get that sudden passion sentencing. And the reason why I say that is because I told y'all I don't know if a lot of you have, but we have totally been in situations where I've been in situations, rather, I'll make it anecdotal, okay? I've been in situations where I did what Karmelo Anthony did. I'm not talking about kill nobody, no. Or have I? No, let me stop. But I've been in situations where I bet somebody on the basketball court, okay, push me, touch me again, dude. Touch me again or foul me again. Dude, that was a flagrant foul. Bro, why are you trying to hurt me real bad? This is in basketball games. Dude, if you push me again, if you grab my nipple again, because y'all, in basketball, y'all don't know this. People do some weird, strange stuff in basketball and in football. They do things to get in your head. They'll grab your nuts, try to pull your penis. I'm being real. They do this in sports, in basketball and football especially. They do stuff like that. So I'm the type of person where, bro, I know this is a game, bro. I know you're trying to get me, but if you do that again, I swear to God, I'm going to knock you out, dude. I've done things like that, right? Now, you can't say, Ty, you went to that basketball game with the intentions of looking to knock somebody out. No. At the heat of the moment, when he grabbed my penis and pulled it, yeah, I'm going to punch him. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I believe, according to this, he most likely is going to get the 20 years. He's going to get the 20 years at the age that he's at right now and everything too. He's going to get the 20 years. He might have to do only 70% of it. I don't know. Who knows? But what's going to end up happening, and I tell people all the time, I'm not some prophet or anything like that, but I believe that Karmelo Anthony is going to get sentenced, right? And no matter how many years or whatever he gets sentenced, we are going to forget about him because new things are going to happen. There's going to be a new race issue in the future. There's going to be a new catastrophe. There's going to be a new something going on. I don't know. Trump going to do something to piss somebody off. Something's going to happen drastic to where we're going to forget about Karmelo Anthony. And then we not even going to know that he got a release date. Y'all not even going to know that he most likely, let's just say 5 years from now, you find out that Karmelo Anthony is back at home on house arrest because of good behavior or something like that. And they just didn't announce it in the news. It's going to be something often weird like that. But in this case, I think the dude is going to get, they're going to do the whole under 20 thing because of this right there, because they said if the jury believed that Karmelo Anthony did this with a sudden passion, whatever like that, is going to be the maximum of 20 years or 20 years or less. And I believe that's what the jury is going to roll with. I'm telling y'all right now, because if I was a juror right now, although y'all heard what I said as a juror, I'll be like, dude, he need to be in prison for the rest of his life. But Ty, we're not going up to that. Hold on.
National Weather Service offices across the country are painting the map orange today.
Oh, they talking about the weather. That's nothing. I thought there was some breaking news. So what I'm saying that for is that based off of what I heard and based off my integrity, I'm like, no, bro, you took a life. You doing life. But if they came to me and said, Ty, do you believe that he had the knife because he was looking to kill somebody that day? Because if so, he's doing 20 to life, if you believe that. Or Ty, if you believe that he did this out of passion in the heat of the moment, even though I want dude to be there for the rest of his life, I would have to be honest, folks, and say, I can say that he did this most likely in the heat of the moment. Both of them did. Metcalf pushed Karmelo Anthony in the heat of the moment with exchanges of words. He said what? I don't care who provoked what. Both of them did it in the heat of the moment. And I would have to roll with that, even though I wouldn't want to. But based on that decision, yeah, he most likely is going to do the 20 and under, y'all. I'm just saying. Right now, they're talking about the weather right now, and there's nothing that I have no interest in regards to the weather. But if you are in here, you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And I'm trying to highlight y'all comments, a lot of them as they come in. So the fact that he had a knife opened up and ready, they might get him with premeditated. Well, from what they're saying, that it was already, he got pushed and he reached in the backpack and pulled it out. All kind of stories are coming out. They were scuffling and buffling and stuff, so Yeah, they said 99 is the max, but what they are saying though, Tabitha, they said that if they believe that he had premeditation already before anything happened, then they say he can do 22 life or 2219 or 2299 like you posted. But they said if they felt that he did it in the heat of the moment, he can do 20 and under. Fernandez T, I appreciate the super chat. Said this wasn't sudden passion, this was thug passion. Rim. Oh boy, you wrong for that. No heat or passion, says Slick Armor. That can be argued. There is a planned protest at 6 p.m. today. Oh gosh. It was a gentle nudge, not a real push. That sounds like some dude kneeling his wife or something. People getting away with more than 20 years of murder. Oh, it wouldn't allow you to say thugs. Oh, wow. In the super chat, wow. Okay. Sugar Cookie says, okay, so you can murder someone and get 20 years or less? Crazy. Yeah. I've watched a lot of forensic stuff and I've seen people do worse than this and got out of prison. Like I seen a man, man out on some of these true crime and things like that. They show people that completely murdered their wives horrifically, right? Murdered them horrifically and got out of prison like in 30 years. And then they got 30 years to life, but then got out like in 15 or 20 because of the penmanship of the signee forgot to dot the I, some stupid technicality or something like that. Y'all crazy. You're going to get touched a lot more. What? That's horrible. That's horrible, Melissa. They should have lied. I'm glad they told the truth. You wouldn't want to select him. Nope, he's not guilty. We don't care what he did. He's not guilty because he's black. That's horrible. You think about it right now of all the stuff I shown on my channel right now, like with the some of these cases with the illegal aliens, like you find out that, hey, man, this dude had a rap sheet. He had a rap sheet super long and he got right back out and then he went and killed somebody. That's what's crazy.
Will be on Fox 4 Plus. Just scan the QR code for.
That's what's really crazy. My friend got out due to Trump's act. And somebody's supposed to get pardoned for no reason. Somebody's supposed, I'm like, what? He did what? And he got pardoned? In the world is that? But let me see if I can find y'all something else. Somebody else might be streaming on the Karmelo Anthony case. If y'all, and I know I said it already, but don't forget to click the thumbs up button if you have not done it yet. Yeah, but as of right now, let me see. Like they might be showing this. No, they're not. I thought they were showing the streets, people like out there protesting and things right now. But that's not what they're showing. So
Okay, so speaking of your question, Assistant DA called Dewey Mitchell spoke to the jury. He said, now they're saying it's a sudden passion argument. Like he didn't want to kill him, but he had to because of this thing that happened. He said, something unique, ladies and gentlemen, happened when we were all in that big room in the courtroom. There was this sense of a bunch of people wanting justice to be done. Y'all are the product of that. And to me, it felt like a community. So thank you. Prosecutor spoke about how during the trial on Thursday, you heard witnesses come out and talk about how Karmelo was like a son, a student. He said, I want to be clear, that's true. But let's not forget, Austin Metcalf was also a son. He was also a brother and the type of man who believed in people. He led the team. He set up the tent. He did all these things. And he said that Austin was certainly full of testosterone. He's a high school kid. He's a big guy. And they were telling you that didn't apply to Karmelo Anthony, that it was only Austin who was like pumping full of hormones, but not Karmelo. He said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, now the defense is going to come out and they're going to talk about Karmelo's age in their arguments. They're going to say, oh, he's young and he didn't know. But I want you to consider Austin's age as well. He was also a young man. So nothing you do with your verdict, no matter what it is, nothing will take more from Karmelo and his family than he ever took from the Metcalfs. He might go to prison for several decades, but Austin will never be alive. They'll be able to talk to him and to visit him and to write him and be able to see him to hopefully rehabilitate himself into somebody who doesn't stab anybody. But Austin will never see his family again. He will never get to meet the love of his life, never, ever get to hold his graduation plaque or have children, period. So I want to show you some photos about what happened. Once again, this was CPR being performed on Austin the day of the stabbing when he was bleeding out. Metcalf's mother in the courtroom, according to NBC's Maria at the time, was weeping inside the courtroom. Other members of the public on Metcalf's side were also seen crying. He said, this is not about vengeance. We're not here trying to exact revenge on him. This is about justice. And when it comes to justice, it's not about leniency either. In Collin County, where we live, what is the price of taking a life? There are going to be bleachers at stadiums in Collin County whose parents are going to watch their kids play. You may have kids who play it themselves. One of the reasons we're in the community we live in is because we feel safe. And by giving a fair justice verdict, as you did, my prayer is that that's how we find healing. Justice delivered enables the community to recover and move on. From the prosecutor as of 6 minutes ago. So they're back making their sentencing arguments. Let's see if we've got any other updates on this from any others reporting. Let's see, we got JD Miles. Let's see if he's got anything for us. Nothing else on that. All right, so that's all continuing to percolate. Digital Lee, thanks for the update, for the questions on that. Here's from the Babylon Bee from Tony D. Says, nation shocked as jury rules you cannot stab someone in the heart for no reason at all. I know, shocking news. But it's true. Can't just go around stabbing people because you're mad. Quell, what's going on? We got some subpar IQ commentary. We saw some of that on X. Now we know stupid bounces like on a trampoline. I think talking about Tariq, that fella, he is lucky extreme stupidity isn't a crime, or he'd likely get life in prison. For that other guy who was commenting on X from I'd Rather Be Skiing, who was just rage posting, this is bigotry, hate black people. It's like, come on, man. The evidence was clear. The witnesses that Karmelo Anthony's defense put up were also very clear. hey, Sean of Thyme, what's going on? The family needs to be investigated for their personal fundraising off this felony now. Yeah, and I wonder how much of this money was sent back in for an expert witness or any of these other people. They didn't present, as far as we know, any expert witness. They were just going off the state's witness. So not a lot of money was spent in the defense. Now, they may not have been able to find a good expert witness because this case was so damning against him.
All right, folks, I'm back. Hit that thumbs up button for me. I never did go anywhere anyway, but I want y'all to pay attention to something I'm about to show you right now. This was the one. This is the woman who was breaking down. Watch this. This is the woman right here. This lunatic is the one that was breaking down, crying, and all that over Karmelo Anthony. Watch this. This is, man, this is some craziness. Make sure y'all can still see. Make sure all of y'all can see this right here, because this just, this the lady that was all on the ground. Listen to what she gonna say here.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Let me ask you this right now. I hear.
What was that? I don't even know what to say no more. I don't even know what to say no more. I got 5 boys. Why aren't you home with them right now? Why aren't you at home telling your 5 boys, don't carry a knife to school like this idiot did? Why aren't you at home telling your 5 boys, hey, if somebody push you, if there's any adults and you're at school, go tell a teacher. Go. Why aren't you telling your 5 boys that? You are literally right here supporting him as if what he did was right, you idiot. Your 5 boys. Where they daddy at, by the way? How come you're not saying I got 5 boys and a dad and a husband, huh? Where's your kid's daddy at? This right here is what women like this is what ruins. Y'all ruin black communities. Y'all are the reason why black communities are tore up. You can say, oh, it's because of the men. No, look at the boys y'all raising. And what makes this even crazier? Karmelo Anthony had both parents. But a ratchet woman like that saying some dumb stuff like that, then look at dude, Trayvon Martin. Nobody talking about Trayvon Martin right now. Nobody talking about Trayvon Martin or Michael Brown. Nobody talking about them. What about Rodney King? Well, nobody talking about. We're talking about right now. He brought a knife to school and murdered somebody. He brought it to a track meet. He murdered somebody. And y'all acting like he a victim, like he didn't do nothing wrong. Are you serious? This is the dumb, ratchet stuff right here that I cannot stand. She is a blacklet, and I hope that her sons are not Negrites. I hope that she did not turn her sons into Negrites, because that's exactly the bullcrap she's spewing now is what some Negrites would say. I'm sorry, she's a Negricist, but she raising 5 Negrites most likely. Listen to this again.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point?
What you want us to do?
I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin.
Y'all see them sitting there? Oh my God, black folks. Why do y'all do this dumb stuff? Oh Lord Jesus, why do y'all do it, man? I just don't get it. What is that? I don't know what to do no more. You can't walk away. If Karmelo Anthony would have walked away, we wouldn't be talking about this right now, you idiot. This one, boy, I swear. How? I don't know this. I don't even tell my son. I got 5 boys. I don't know what to tell them. You can't walk away no more. Trayvon Martin, stupid. Oh my God. Oh my God, y'all. Oh. You can't walk away no more. That's what Karmelo Anthony should have done when he was asked to leave in the first place, you idiot. When you can't walk in the rain, it was raining outside. They didn't want him under the tent. It was raining out there. And you know black folks can't swim. We don't like water. What the heck was that? What is she even talking about? Man. Let's see what's going on with this one.
The judge as well in this case said it was not a case about race, but you cannot deny that just the facts of the case and what we've seen play out since then and what we're happening now is because the defendant is black, the victim is white, and that's the bottom line. But again, this is what I alluded to when I said this has brought out what's bubbling right beneath the surface. The judge as well in this case said it was not a case about race, but you cannot deny.
This is why racist white people tell you Negroes to go back to Africa. Y'all stay. Y'all, you look. You look like you from some African tribe doing all that, Negro. Man, y'all just living up to the stereotypes, man. What the heck? Oh my God, y'all. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing, man. What is happening, man? All right, here we go, y'all. We got some more updates.
You know, there was a prayer circle. At one point, we did see things get tense, but it's good to know from people on both sides, but it's good to know that the crowd has remained relatively peaceful. Thanks so much, Alex. All right, well, Fox 4's Amelia Jones, also in McKinney for us right now. Amelia, what are you seeing?
Hi there, Eden. I'm seeing similar to what Alex is seeing here as well. We have a lot of people who are in lawn chairs taking shade away from the hot sun today. And I asked people, why are you staying here? The verdict already was issued and they told me that they wanted to stay here and find out the sentence. Somebody even told me that they wanted to stay here because they wanted to support the youth. And so I'm going to ask my photographer, Sam, to kind of pan off here. You can kind of see there's just some groups of people, again, like Alex was talking about, whether they are live streaming on their cell phones here. We know that this case has gained national, even international attention. And a lot of people have been streaming on several social media platforms before the verdict, after the verdict. And now as they are kind of getting news from journalists and others inside the courtroom as to what is going on right now in that punishment phase.
Bremer Jewelry Service Department is here to help by restoring and repairing your cherished items.
And this person was telling me there really is no winning on either side of this. Take a listen.
There's no winners. No, absolutely not. I mean, I feel bad for the Karmelo Anthony family. I mean, they're in a sense losing their son for a little while too, you know. But the thing is they'll most likely be able to get him back. Austin Metcalf's folks, they won't ever get that young man back.
And now we know that this case has become racially charged, in large part due to misinformation and rumors spreading online. And I will say I have heard some racially charged comments out here after that verdict was read, and something that was brought up in jury selection and something that I spoke to several law experts about was the Batson challenge.
Time out. Back it up. Nah, we ain't about to let that slide. You telling me the news, look how the news tried to bypass this black man holding that sign. He said Karmelo Anthony committed murder. Why? Oh, no, look, now see, oh, no. Y'all don't want to show a black man or a black woman holding up a sign saying Karmelo Anthony committed murder. Y'all don't want to show that. They like glimpsed off. They like, hey, whoa, don't show. See, this is the bull crap I'm talking about. I know, we all know the news do this bull crap. Why aren't y'all showing black folks out there holding signs up saying Karmelo Anthony is guilty? Karmelo Anthony is a murderer. Why aren't y'all showing black folks doing that? All y'all want to show is the black folks yelling at the white people. Oh, we know this is racially charged. We know it's racially charged. No, y'all on some bull crap yourselves by not showing this right there. That is some straight BS that the news is doing right here by not showing this right here. Look at that. Karmelo Anthony committed murder. We all see that. And they made sure they got off of that.
Racially charged. And
it's racially, look, the minute she said that's, oh my God, I'm clipping this. Y'all, I am clipping this. Because the minute she said racially charged, The cameraman had it on black people going at it with black people. Oh, that's beautiful. Watch, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. Let me show y'all again. I'm not letting them get away with this. Watch, she's gonna say racially charged, but then you're gonna show black folks going at it with black folks.
And now we know that this case has become racially charged, in large part due to misinformation and rumors spreading online. And I will say I have heard some racially charged comments out here after that verdict.
No, see what I'm saying? No, no. Don't take the camera. Don't sit there and go at the camera and go, hey, no, she just said racially charged, bro. You got it on black people. No, man, don't girl. You know they made a big old oops with that one. Big, huge oops with that one. What in the world? Boy. Hey, that's why I tell y'all.
Work in
news
the punishment
is the enemy.
phase. What do you try to do to live?
I mean, I think you gotta first you want to console your client and the family briefly, but you're gonna have to quickly turn to your anticipated punishment evidence, which is going to be the state again going first. You're going to hear more character information. It takes a while when you get an adverse verdict for the person to really accept and understand it. The state may be moving to have his bond held insufficient, meaning that if he walked in the courthouse today, that he won't be walking out tonight. Your client's going to have a whole lot of anxiety. You know, the range of punishments, 5 to 99 years. When you hear a guilty verdict of murder, you're certainly going to see your life flash before you because you recognize you could face imprisonment for the rest of your life. The attorney, if you get everybody calmed down, you need to start thinking of your most mitigating factors. Probably here will be age. Of the offender and no criminal history.
So one very unusual aspect of this case has been where some of the reaction is coming from. Several state politicians have issued statements in their official capacity, including Jared Patterson, the Republican state rep whose district includes parts of Frisco. Patterson called Austin Metcalf's murder a senseless and heartbreaking tragedy and said today's murder conviction is justice served. Texas GOP chair Abraham George echoed that sentiment and said the Texas Republican Party stands with the Metcalf family. And on the other side are Karmelo Anthony supporters who have condemned this verdict. The activist group Next Generation Action Network has spoken in support of the family on multiple occasions. The group's leadership said it will continue to provide the family support through a likely appeals process once the punishment is decided. So we want to go back to Fox 4's Sean Rabb with more updates from inside of the courthouse with the punishment phase. Sean, I know obviously we can't have any cameras inside of the courtroom there, and we've been getting updates from Lori Brown, who is inside of the courtroom. So what are some updates that you're hearing?
Yeah, and you know what? We talk about that a lot because we've become accustomed in state district courts, especially in Dallas County and the big trial recently with the Tanner Harner case over in Tarrant County. They have cameras in courtrooms, but they've not always been there. We've not always covered cases with cameras. It's been with reporters chronicling the events in the courtroom and then sharing those. And that's what we've been getting in this trial. Right now, I want to go back to share with you what's happening in the closing statements before jurors begin their deliberation. We were talking earlier about sudden passion, and Mike Howard, one of the defense attorneys, wanted to impress on the jurors that, look, you decided that self-defense wasn't part of this case, but I want to help you and let you understand sudden passion can. He says, when we react in a moment, when our mind has not had time to process and calm down and time for cool reflection, that is different from when we have time to think and still do something bad. His suggestion, Karmelo Anthony acted in a moment, sudden passion, and not that he thought, premeditated plan to go to that track meet and kill someone. But let me share with you what Bill Werski has said in his closing statements to this jury before they begin their deliberation. He's saying, here it is. This is not sudden passion. This was provoked. And the person who provoked and caused the death was not Metcalf, but was Anthony. That is what Bill Werski is saying. Beyond that, here is what he tells this jury. Whether you like it or not, mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. When you talk about Anthony, talk about Metcalf. When you consider his family, consider Metcalf. And then he goes on to say, you know what? A lot of life sentences have been handed out today. A lot of life sentences. There needs to be one more life sentence, as he references the time he wants this jury to give Karmelo Anthony. He says, it's up to you to determine how we in Collin County respond to senseless violence. Do we tolerate it or hand down lengthy sentences? So the pressure is mounting on this jury for a long sentence, 40 years or more. 40 years or more is where I think Bill Werski wants this jury to start considering. The floor is 40 years. The ceiling could be 99. That's where he wants them to consider. So we'll see what this jury does when they do retire. But these are the passionate pleas in punishment that Attorney Russell Wilson was talking with us about earlier. Oftentimes, he said, more difficult at this moment, more intense at this moment, and more challenging for jurors at this moment than to return the guilty verdict. So once they begin their deliberations, and that has not happened yet, they're beginning their deliberations right now, actually, 4:37, about 3 minutes ago, they retired to start deliberating. Before 6 o'clock today, they could have their decision in terms of how long Karmelo Anthony will stay behind bars.
And he is facing anywhere from 5 years to 99 years in prison. Thanks so much, Sean. And as this case continues in the punishment phase, Fox 4 is committed to keeping you up to date. We will be live on the Fox Local app when there is an update. So make sure that you turn on your notifications to receive the update right to your home screen. And if it happens while we're on air too, we'll bring it to you live. Well, street racing led to the deaths of 3 people in Duncanville. A 4th person was
hard your job is. Referring to the jury's role in determining how long Anthony will spend in prison, he said, I can only ask you to consider both sides. Follow your heart and follow the law. Saying, Howard then defines, I think I got it. Got it. Punk, get out of here. Howard then defined sudden passion, explaining that it is an emotion. What is it? It's an emotion, a feeling that is directly caused by provocation by the individual who was killed. So Austin provoked Karmelo or others being killed at the time of the offense. He says sudden passion doesn't mean blaming Austin or Hunter or any of those memorial kids under that tent at all. This is not about blaming the victim. He said, but decisions are made in the heat of the moment, and those are different than decisions that come out after reflection. So when something happens, Austin, Hunter, the kids under the tent, when that happens, we don't know exactly, well, whatever happened. And you believe that Karmelo felt terror in that moment such that it rendered his mind incapable, that he didn't have time for cool reflection, then that's when I think sudden passion applies. So you should carve off a maximum of 80 years off the top, saying you don't have to be sure of sudden passion, okay? And so I want to play this video for you. I think the video helps really show that, because for all this talk about what happened, you know, at the end of the day, that video was just mere seconds long. There was a buildup, sure, but then a moment where everything happened in mere seconds. So I ask you to consider both sides. Yes, the Metcalfs have been irrevocably changed by this, and all our hearts go out to them. The Anthonys too. There are innocent people on both sides who have lost significantly. So thank you for doing your duty. I'm going to agree with Mr. Mitchell in that healing is needed, and you guys are going to decide what that is. So just follow your hearts, jurors. And their hearts were made up pretty damn quickly in the verdict when that dropped today. So we'll see if they come to a conclusion. Let's check a couple other sources to see. Nothing from JD Miles. Let's see if we got anything from Marianne Martinez with the Daily Mail. Nothing there as well. And not much being covered by the cables, as you can see over here. We got Tallarico stuff, Johnson, Secure America Act, more pharmaceuticals from MS Now, and Plattner. We got primaries tonight happening all across the country. So we'll keep our eye on that. We'll see if we get anything else here coming up. What's up, Zone Girl? It was not passion. Immediately after he did it, he said, I did it. Rob, this is the only thing that will start deterring the younger generation. Fear from a strong justice system. They aren't going to feel they can do whatever they want to and get away with it. Yeah, well, that's the kind of whole point of the criminal justice system. Oh, I see what you're saying here from Rumble. Better donate some Kentucky. He's going to need it. Like Kentucky. Well, I was going to make another joke about that, but that's also all right. Thank you for that, Rumble. Hey, Amara Russ, kind of feel sorry for Melo. You know, he's young and small framed. He's going to have an interesting experience in prison. Thank you, Amari. We don't want people getting AR'd in prison, you know, even if they're murderers, because that's not good. But, you know, they're interesting jokes. So thank you, Amari. He is a young fella, and he's not going to have a knife to stab somebody in prison. Fallen Hero, what's up? We got nice, I think, kitty cat emoji, something. Voice of the people. He was obviously guilty. Yeah, I completely agree. The question was whether or not the jury would try to contort themselves into a pretzel and escape that same conclusion. They didn't. Evil Revelations, what's going on? I have to wonder if Karmelo Anthony will claim bad representation as a grounds for appeal. His lawyer did seem to be a little less than good. Yeah, and it's hard to gauge that because we just can't see the full transcripts and the full text of the trial. But it's a pretty bad case. Even their own witnesses, like that's the one that really gets me. Why did their witnesses come out and say, yeah, he was in the wrong? You should not have called that witness. So maybe he'll make a claim for ineffective assistance of counsel or something like that. But generally they have that pretty well, you know, buttoned down. Like when you submit your form to go to trial, you sure this is what you want to do? How many witnesses you're going to call? How much time do you need? Oftentimes a judge will give you an advisement. You know, these are the consequences. This is how it works. This trial has been completely locked down, so we haven't seen anything. But if you reject the plea deal, you understand this could happen. And are you happy with the assistance of your lawyer? Yes, definitely. Great. Perfect. Okay. So that's probably on the record a couple times over. So unless there's something that really meets the level, sufficiency that would justify that claim, those usually fail because every defendant claims that. My lawyer sucks. They didn't do a good job. So the standards for that are pretty high. But I think the bigger argument will be about the striking for cause of the black jurors. And I would again imagine the judge buttoned that thing down too and made his conclusion. So you never know. You never know. We got Backdoor Dugan, the federal judge who let the illegal alien use her backdoor. She's making up a new defense. What's going on, John? Should we petition that money from the fund be frozen now that it's payment to a convicted murderer? Well, that's interesting. Yeah. What's the give, send, go policy on that? Can you continue to raise funds if you're convicted of a crime? I don't think so. Don't they nuke everybody else's accounts when they're raising money for a criminal case? Pretty sure I've seen that. So maybe they'll lock it down now. Let's do a refresh. Is he still getting some money? 7 minutes ago, $50, $10, $30, $20, $25, all anonymous. Use your names. If you're donating to a convicted murderer, use your names. Don't be cowardly. Londo, Melo should be in jail until his victim rises from the dead, which would be for a very long time. Hey, Jim tells you you're streaming. Man, amazing. Jim, happy to do it. Thanks again for the raids. I'm getting my show all set up for this evening to follow you when you wrap up. If you can do the raid again, that would be awesome. Happy to do it, Jim. Have a great stream. Thanks for the dono, my man. Keep up the good streaming. Kimmy Hunt, what's up, Kimmy? Timu Al Sharpton had to repeat the name of his grift NGO 6 times. He wants money. He wants that cash money. Well, never let a racist grift go to waste. I think that's the phrase. Didn't Rahm Emanuel say something similar? Never let it go to waste. Califab, thank you for that one. Califab. Will there be a civil case and will the donated money be used to pay it? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, would the Metcalf sue? Do they have any assets? Karmelo doesn't have any assets, right? It's not like suing OJ. OJ had a lot of assets. I'm sure Karmelo doesn't have any assets, so is it worth it? Probably not. Maybe for those donated funds, but probably going to be now it's a battle between being entitled to the cash versus being able to collect the cash, which is a distinction. So it may all be gone already. So I would imagine he doesn't have much of anything. And that 600 G's is probably, if it's not gone, it's about to be gone. Califab, what's going on? So in terms of just practicality, like I'm sure they could sue, but will they? I think it comes down to recovery. Ryan, Sir Mister, thank you, Ryan, for signing up and supporting us as a new member. Very appreciative of that. We'll have a great members only stream in the morning, no doubt. Voice of the people. Everything that family bought off the legal funds should be seized from the family. They got rich off this. Yeah. Got a nice new mansion, apparently. Got a new ride. Got private security. Probably a bunch of new drip. Should have spent it on the lawyers. Zone Girl, the problem with us ignoring violent protest, destruction of property, and stealing up to $900, not over the $1,000, no problem. These young learn that due to their status, they will get by with this. Maybe a slap on the hand. He thought he would never be convicted. He had this threatening crowd on the steps of the courtroom, and then they had their publicity out there, and they treated Austin's family like dirt, but put Melo's, quote, on the news quite often. Yeah, it's an interesting development. I mean, when I was practicing criminal law, there was no celebration of criminal defendants at all. It was like a battle to go out there and to say, we have a presumption of innocence. People would say, you're an idiot, shut up. Then George Floyd happened, and like the whole thing got inverted. It was a wild thing to witness as a lawyer. Then all of a sudden, the cops are bad, the prosecutors are bad, and the criminal defendants are good. Total inversion. I've never seen anything like it in my whole life. And I'm sitting here going, now I look back on that, I'm like, jeez, man. Think of all the plea deals I could get in the aftermath of George Floyd. Like everybody's walking free, especially if they're illegal aliens. But the question, of course, is why? Why does the Alvin Bragg of New York, the Manhattan DA, why does he give a transgender child abuser who is an illegal alien from Guatemala or whatever? We covered that story here. Why does he get a special plea deal where an American citizen would not? Where any other, white defendant who was a citizen of the country who did the same thing would go to jail or prison for 50 years, rightfully so. How come that is? It's because from my opinion and perspective, it's a filter. They're installing a filter for their cities. They want certain people there. They want other people out of there. It serves them. It creates for them political benefits. It creates a highly motivated cabal of voters who are ultra influential in their domain. And they want this refinement process to continue on in their states and localities. They're happy in LA to bring in a bunch of illegal aliens, 2 to 3 million of them, whatever the numbers are, who even knows, and force the other productive members of society out.